Warning, when this video comes out, the people have voted and the people have spoke. And Donald Trump is indeed the 47th president of the United States of America. He won by a landslide, 295 electoral votes. No contests. Republicans have also taken the Senate. Will they take the House? We don't know. But what's changed? We still have a democracy. There will be a transfer of power on January 20th. And we still have all the issues that everyone voted for. Education? We need it desperately in this country. Not private education, but a public education. And we need to be able to pay teachers so that they can earn a decent living 5 days a week. And we need to get back to basics, where kids learn to read and write. And it's not a crime to say you may need remedial studies. After all, we just came through a pandemic. Kids lost a lot of time in school. They need to get back to basics. They need to be reading again. A lot of the bans, I don't know if they'll stay. We already know when Roe v. Wade was overturned, the states got busy, and 20% of the states maintained the bans, but 80% of the states overturned abortion bans. This is important to American women. Their lives are important. No life should be on the line if you become pregnant. And that's what happened in Texas. And unfortunately, in Texas, it'll still be the law. Poor women who get pregnant in Texas, have a miscarriage, have an ectopic pregnancy, and physicians are afraid to treat you. Well, if I was living in Texas and I was in childbearing age, I'd make a mass exodus out of the state, especially if I knew that I might have a health problem. Women's health is important. We are 50% of the population. So, this is a still problematic issue. No doubt about it, women deserve the right to choose whether or not they wish to be pregnant, and certainly when it's medically unfeasible, they're entitled to the best health care available to save their lives. So, this is still a significant issue. What else are issues? And that we're going to be vigilant about? Our democracy and maintaining our Constitution? That's an absolute. Will we allow Trump to drill baby drill? I don't think so. Not when 150 million people in America are under drought conditions. 318 million acres of crops are also suffering from drought. Do you really think that there's no correlation between global warming and droughts? Well, you're going to have to learn your science. You can be in denial all you want. And politicians can say, oh, there's no climate change. But you know what? Tell that to the folks in Valencia, Spain, who lost 200 people to major flooding that they weren't aware of. There's climate change. Tell that to the folks who are watching uneasily as Antarctica is being looked at for minerals and gas and oil exploration. Russians aren't content with just wars and mischief and chaos in elections. No, sir. They're busy in Antarctica looking for minerals and mineral rights and drilling rights. And what is that going to do to our South Pole? It's going to make it melt faster. Sea rise will happen, oceans will heat up, and what happens? We get intense hurricanes. With the 1-2 punch from Helene and Milton in Florida, the folks knew there's climate change afoot. They're suffering. Clearwater is still not repaired. So we got problems. We also have solutions. We know we can do more in terms of renewable energy. We're only at 20% renewables. We're not at the top of any list of trying to mitigate climate. So we got a lot to go. Third generation nuclear is my bet, along with solar, along with wind, along with heat pumps, and geothermal. These are still problematic. And you folks who voted for Trump, you think you're going to get higher wages, more jobs, and be more secure, and be able to get out of poverty. Well, let's push them for that minimum wage increase. It's still at $7.25 an hour. It's time to go to 15 or 20 bucks. As I said before, and I'll say again, whatever Elizabeth Warren says is the right number, that's good enough for me. And you should be asking for it. Tips? I don't even think there should be tip salary at $2.19 an hour. That's absurd in today's world. Not when we have monopolies controlling our food supply and our pricing. We need better wages. And so I think tip people should say they want a minimum wage, and they should be treated just like they're treating minimum wage people and tip people here in New York. 18% is added on to our bills automatically in many restaurants. That says my tipped waiter is no longer a tip waiter. He's a professional, or she's a professional. That's the right thing to do. So, you voted for them. You got to get those higher wages and get them now. That's what you voted for. And what else? You voted for peace in the Middle East. You voted for peace in Gaza. You voted for a 2-state solution. I'd want that to happen, because right now, with Hamas and with Netanyahu, it's not a done deal. And we gotta make it a done deal. I don't expect that everyone's gonna go for a kumbaya moment and say, we love you. It ain't gonna happen. But what can happen is the road to better civilized nations. What can happen is a good civilian takeover of the Gaza Strip and the West Bank communities. That can happen. And then, with education over time, we could have a 2-state solution with the right prime minister in place. So, we got a new president. We don't know who he's going to nominate for the cabinet, but we do know what our issues are and what our needs are and why you voted for him. Let's see what he delivers. I'm there. I'm going to give him a chance. But trust me, when I see democracy is at stake, or I feel that the policy is wrong, I'm going to be right there to say, this isn't right. This is not appropriate. This is not good for America or Americans. I wondered what I would do. Well, I'll just keep on doing what I'm doing. I am the voice of reason. And I believe in our democracy, our Constitution, and our rule of law. Have a blessed day, everyone. We got until January 20th to do a lot. Take care.